Hey everyone, me Kevin here with your stimulus check update for August 5th. More new information is out from Trump, McConnell. We've got timing information and more. Let's get right into it for our update. Let's go. By the way, huge thank you to all of those of you who came to the live stream this morning. There were just over 7,000 of you at the live stream for the giveaway, and I gave away over $7,000 in increments to many of you. So congratulations to everybody who came. Hopefully we could do this again in the future. Make sure to subscribe and you'll see those notifications. Mitch McConnell advocated this morning for another $1,200 check. This is the first time he's bluntly said that he's pushing for another $1,200 check. Now, we already knew that there was consensus between Republicans and Democrats, but this is the first time the leader of the Republicans said yes, like, let's do the other $1,200 check without mentioning the nonsense about a $40,000 limit. Instead, right now, it seems we're keeping the same income limits as before. This comes on top of what I mentioned yesterday when we heard Mitch McConnell also say that he's ready to support a bill even if it includes the $600 per week boost for those on unemployment. Additionally, White House officials are reportedly considering raising the unemployment boost in negotiations to $400. Now, this is twice the current proposal from Republicans, and it's moving much closer to what Democrats are seeking, which is $600 per week. This continues to show that Republicans and the White House in negotiations, which the White House is being represented by Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, this continues to evidence that the White House and Republicans are caving to Democrats. Yesterday, we thought that this is likely because when and if a bill does not get passed, the people in power will get the blame. And that would mean Republicans would get blamed for not passing something. This is leaving Democrats digging in on their position and insisting on the passage of the HEROES Act. Remember, the HEROES Act was passed about 11 weeks ago. The HEROES Act would give $1,200 checks to individuals and $1,200 to dependents, and the $600 unemployment would go through January 31st, and in some cases through March 31st. That bill is estimated to cost $3.4 trillion. However, Republicans vow not to pass the HEROES Act. Instead, they're open to negotiating, and they're had another press conference kind of trying to beg Democrats to negotiate over a table discussion with them. But that kind of is exactly what's happening. Nancy Pelosi and Mark Meadows, along with Steve Mnuchin, and we've got Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, are meeting again today to put this plan together, which we expect the new plan to come together by Friday. Although right now the problem is this. The Republican Party is so fractured, many Republicans don't have a big voice in this next bill because they don't have a unified voice. There are currently 48 Democrats in the Senate, and well, including 2 independents, which usually vote with the Democrats. And Democrats control the House. Democrats only have to convert about 12 Republicans in the Senate to get this bill through. There are 52 Republicans in the Senate, and Marco Rubio says they need 60 votes to pass this particular bill. That means that 76% of Republicans in the Senate could literally hate the bill and say no, and this bill could still get passed as long as 12 Republicans support it. This bill will end up on Trump's desk. Now, what that bill is going to entail, we're trying to get the details of now, and we're trying to put those pieces together. The expectation is Democrats want $600 per week as a boost, tied to the unemployment rate. And of course, $1,200 stimulus checks for filers and $500 for all dependents regardless of age. It does not look like we're going to see that $1,200 and $1,200 from the HEROES Act. By the way, Donald Trump has already indicated that he wants larger action and he wants action sooner, and he supports a bigger package. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Democrats are able to get 12 Republicans in the Senate, rally something through the Senate, push something through the House, and put it on Trump's desk that'll end up getting passed, even if it includes more Democrat provisions. The private payroll firm, ADP, believes that in July, we had substantially lower job growth than expected. We added just an estimated 167,000 jobs, despite expecting 1 million jobs to be added in July. This massive miss is in part due to very large cutbacks, especially among small and medium-sized businesses. Also, people are spending less money because there's so much uncertainty regarding stimulus. And that's no surprise to me. I mean, let's be real. When things are uncertain and things are creating anxiety and Congress is losing their minds, Of course we're gonna save money and spend less money. So it's no surprise that the shipping industry is cutting sailings by 30% for their ships, right? Shipping ships. Anyway, and they expect shipping and trade volume to decline by 13 to 35% in 2020 as a whole. It's already declined 18.5% year over year, and they expect that to continue as people spend less money on things like clothing, electronics, and cars, which all makes sense. Again, I think we're going into a frugal decade, not a roaring 20s. Furthermore, Donald Trump reiterated Wednesday that COVID was spreading in a, quote, relatively small portion of the country, and insisted that the outbreak will, quote, go away like things go away. That was on Fox and Friends just about an hour ago. Trump also says he wants to extend unemployment, but does not want to disincentivize people from working. Many Republicans share this belief with the president, and it makes sense. If somebody told me, hey, Kevin, here's $600, do you want to take this and stay home or go to work making $10 per hour, working 40-hour weeks, so you're making $400? What do you want? Work, make $400 or stay home and make $600? Obviously, if somebody gave that scenario, it makes sense that we would want to stay home. So we understand where that argument is coming from. However, we're in a unique time in this country. We're in a time in our country where 19 to 30 million people are unemployed, depending on how you count them. And there are only 4.5 million job openings. There just aren't enough jobs to sustain our country's employment situation now. And this helps explain why economists say 73% of every dollar, so 73 cents of every dollar that goes to unemployment is spent immediately because people are paying off debt, bills, or they're trying to survive. We already know that economically, every dollar that's given to unemployment tends to circulate around the economy 2 to 4 times. And as money circulates, our economy strengthens and our GDP grows. A recent study by Yale also found that workers on unemployment receiving the $600 boost returned to work at the same rate as those not receiving the unemployment boost. This research says the unemployment boost is not a disincentive. Instead, it's just a necessity to survive. And yet, while the government quibbles over the $600 per week, corporations get bailed out by the millions and no one says anything. It's a sad time, and it's even more sad to see how difficult it is for our government to help the people. On timing, we expect the next stimulus package to be put together by Pelosi, Schumer, Mark Meadows, and Steve Mnuchin by Friday, which Congress will then vote on next week. So we could see some draft of this proposal or negotiated proposal by Friday. And this does mean recess is getting delayed or canceled for Congress as they vote and deliberate the actual bill next week. This means checks are likely to go out by the end of the month if this bill gets passed by next Friday. There is also a substantial amount of suffering right now in college towns, just as an example of how state and local funding could actually help, state and local governments. There are many college towns who rely on functioning schools to receive money and any kind of industry or business in their communities. Many of these towns are now getting destroyed because of a lack of support from the federal government. The federal government sees states and local governments as mismanaged. Yet a lot of state and local governments rely on schools being open and rely on the business that surrounds schools to actually fund their government. And because these have been shut down or were shut down early this year, a lot of the state and local governments are massively suffering. There's the update for today. Please consider getting your life insurance and 2 free stocks via the links down below. Remember, you can sign up for life insurance in as little as 5 minutes, and you can get 2 free stocks with the stock trading platform Webull when you deposit $100. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again later.